mira, la pelea pasó y ya lo que pasó, pasó. La verdad que me enfrenté a un gran peleador como lo es Floyd y aprendí mucho de ahí y eso es con lo que me quedo. Floyd es uno de los mejores en la historia del boxeo. Bien, ¿no? Ya lo que pasó, pasó.
Are you ready?
¿Está preparado?
I was born ready.
Born ready, and we're ready for tomorrow night.
Canelo Alvarez recently came out. When he heard Floyd Mayweather response, he said, Floyd Mayweather, it was an honor fighting him. He's a great fighter. So in a way, he's semi-apologizing for his ridiculous statement he made, because he said if he would have fought Floyd Mayweather right now, he would have knocked him out.
Canelo just said, if you and him were to fight and you were both in your prime, he would win.
Well, it's crazy that, you know, Canelo said that, because when Canelo fought me, he was in his prime. And when I fought, I was an old man. So I wasn't in my prime when I fought Canelo. You know, I was an old man when I fought Canelo. Just like this right here. On my worst day, you know, on my worst day, I'm still going to be Floyd Mayweather and go out there and do what I do best.
It's funny, the comment Floyd made, it was just so obvious. Floyd is like, you couldn't beat me at my worst as an old man. Why are we even asking the question? If you're going to beat me at my best, in my prime, if you couldn't beat me at my worst and you were my easiest fight. Floyd Mayweather said Canelo was my easiest fight on more than one occasion. If Canelo failed to beat Floyd at his worst as an old man when Canelo was in his prime at 23 years old, how is he going to beat Floyd Mayweather at his best? When Canelo fought Floyd Mayweather, he was 20 pounds bigger than him naturally. So can you imagine if both fighters are the same size? Floyd Mayweather will knock him out, especially if he's in his prime as Pretty Boy, let alone if roles are reversed and Floyd Mayweather is 30 pounds, 20 pounds bigger than Canelo. He will smoke him. We saw what Floyd Mayweather as Pretty Boy did to Corrales, someone that was still 20 pounds bigger than him at Floyd Mayweather natural weight class, and Floyd Mayweather dominated him, knocked him out. A man that's known with the iron chin, that was undefeated and was on the top pound for pound when Floyd Mayweather fought him around 23, 24. So it's so crazy to me because you see these Canelo fans trying to make it seem like being at 36, 37 years old is at your prime and be like, oh, he had experience. First of all, Canelo had 40 plus fights, almost 50 fights. He had all the experience he needed. He was 9 years into his pro career. And when he fought Floyd on the way in, he said, I was born ready.
Are you ready?
¿Está preparado?
I was born ready.
Really? You was born ready, Canelo? You was born ready to make excuses. That's what you are. If you're going to, 5 years later, make excuses about being too young at 23, when Mike Tyson was the baddest man on the planet at 21 years old, undisputed in the heavyweight division at 21. People was calling him the greatest of all time. He was known as the baddest man on the planet at 21. He said, I challenge all comers. But Canelo is too young and he's unexperienced at 23. I mean, let me ask you this question. Was Muhammad Ali a good version of himself at 36 years old? What kind of version of Muhammad Ali? Was Muhammad Ali a good version of himself at 36?
No, that was watching Muhammad Ali in the ring was hard to watch at that time.
At 36, Ali was a shell of himself. Was Sugar Ray Leonard a good version of himself at 36 years old?
No, even when he continued fighting. What people want to bring up Sugar Ray Leonard? Do people think that a prime Sugar Ray Leonard would get knocked out by a Hector Camacho? Come on.
36 years old, man. How you going to lose to Camacho? And not just that, even before that he lost, before he was 36. I mean, Sugar Ray Robertson and Mike Tyson. What kind of version was Mike Tyson at 36?
They were terrible versions of himself.
Yeah, but Floyd Mayweather at 36, heading to 37, all of a sudden, experience plays a big role. Where was the experience factor with Muhammad Ali? Where was the experience factor with Sugar Ray Leonard? Where was the experience factor with Mike Tyson? Where was the experience factor with Sugar Ray Robertson? What version was there at 36, 37? How Roy Jones looked at 36, 37?
Come on.
Come on, man. Come on, man. We're going to talk about that. Y'all must have forgot. So all I'm going to say, Roy was the baddest man, the most gifted. I mean, unbeatable. I'm going to let it be known. Nobody beats Roy Jones in his prime. Put it that way. And you look at him at 36, 37, getting knocked out every other day. But Canelo fighting a 36 years old man some way, somehow is a disadvantage for him when he's 20 pounds bigger, 23 entering his prime, 9 years experience. Said he was born ready, but we know all he was born is to make excuses. So what's your take on Canelo Alvarez stating it was an honor fighting Floyd? He's a great fighter because, like I said, tonight he showed a lot of vulnerabilities that shows that he still has them same flaws. He's still getting caught. He's still getting outclassed, outboxed by a slick boxer. So what's your take on Canelo Alvarez's comments?
I mean, you just know where he stands when it comes to Floyd Mayweather. You ain't there yet. You're not even close. If you're saying you beat a Floyd Mayweather in his prime, you can't even beat a Floyd Mayweather at 37 who's smaller than you. So what are you talking about saying, oh, I'd knock him out? He wouldn't be able to touch me and all this other stuff. Come on.
Yeah.
Like we didn't watch that fight when you were 23, bigger than him, unified champion, undefeated, 8 years into this boxing game, but you want to complain and say you weren't in your prime? You want to say Floyd Mayweather had this, had that, but you beat him now because what? You got checked. Floyd Mayweather made it very clear.
Yeah. This is why my favorite moment is when Floyd Mayweather told Golden Boy, might as well call me the Golden Boy because I'd have knocked out everybody on your roster. You build him up, I knock him down.
He is boxing's biggest star, hailing out of Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, Saul, El Canelo Alvarez.
Every time they get a guy, they build him up, and you know what I do? I go into my mental Rolodex and I just think about certain things like, I've been sitting on the top of the throne for 17 years. You know what? You might as well call me the Golden Boy, because I done beat everybody on your whole crew. Canelo is such a big star, but he's never been on pay-per-view unless he was on my undercard. But he's such a big star. He's such a big star, Oscar. I'm young, I'm fly, I'm flashy, I'm rich.
Remember that? I mean, he beat Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya was 34 years old, but nobody said Oscar had the advantage because of his experience factor. They said Oscar was too old at 34. But Floyd Mayweather at 36, 37, he has the advantage. Like I said, Floyd Mayweather had to overcome all odds. You see Canelo Alvarez today, he have the judges' scorecards in his pocket. He was winning the fight hands down on the judges' scorecards. We've seen that against Gennady Golovkin, Lara, so on and so forth. Even against Floyd Mayweather, he had a draw. Canelo Alvarez, do or don't, he will be praised. Floyd Mayweather, he damn if he do, damn if he don't. Or Floyd Mayweather said, 50-0 didn't come that simple. It came with hard work and dedication, but I also had to overcome all odds, double standards. I was fighting against the referee, the judges, everybody, old media, everybody wanted him to lose. And he prevailed, fighting the best, coming off their biggest wins. Canelo Alvarez still ducking Charlo and Andrade to this day. At the end of the day, man, Canelo Alvarez has to do what's right and fight an Andrade instead of allowing Andrade to continue disrespecting him. If Canelo is going to retire without fighting Andrade, his legacy is a failure. If Canelo avoids Andrade and Charlo, and remember, you say he will fight him?
In 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, 2 to 3 years. I mean, Andrade is almost 34. If I'm not mistaken, he is 34.
Exactly.
So you see everybody aging him out.
Hold it. You're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I still got the wall. I got the wall.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the Bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.